back to Dunrovin Ranch in lovely Lola, Montana. It is a perfect Montana day. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's a little breezy, it's not windy, there's no smoke. Very much wish you all were here. Today, we have a little switch in the schedule. Today, right now at 1 o'clock is my walkabout. At 2 o'clock will be boots on the ground. And today we're going to go over our Labor Day survey with Dunrovin's own Suzanne Miller.
Hello, everyone.
So as you know, Suzanne sent out a survey for Labor Day, and she got quite a few responses. And so I'd like Suzanne, if you would, to go through the responses and do a little summary, and then Suzanne and I will answer the questions live for you here.
Right.
More or less honestly.
Yeah, it depends on the question.
Depends on the question.
Absolutely.
So it's all yours.
Yeah. So first of all, this was a lot of fun for me. I like surveys, as everybody knows. I'm a statistician, researcher, so surveys are in my blood. And I want to thank all of you who did respond. I'm going to rattle off some names here. If I don't call your name twice, it's because there are several of you with the same name. Peggy, Celia, Patricia, Melinda, Blair, Dawn, Juliet, Melissa, Leslie, Debbie, Joan, Katie, Donna, Cheryl, Mark, Velma, and Lori.
Nice.
Thank you all for responding. One of the first questions that we asked was, when were you born? And we had people born in 1929 to 1988.
Wow.
That's a 70 years spread.
That's amazing.
Very
cool.
60-year spread. Pardon me, my math is off there.
Very cool.
60 years in difference. I thought it was great. We have people here who were born in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. We're lacking people born in the 70s. We need to get on that. Don't you think?
They're slackers. They're not,
There you have it.
There you have it.
Yeah. And people came from all over the United States who were born all over the United States. Arizona, British Columbia, not only the United States, but Canadian provinces. We had people from Arizona, British Columbia, California, Connecticut, Maine, Michigan, Montana, Nebraska, New York, North Carolina, Ontario, Pennsylvania, and Washington.
And they're all watching right now.
They're all watching right now. Well, at least some of them are. Some of them said they couldn't watch at this time.
Hello, world.
Hello, world is right. And we have, they continue to live all over the place. Alberta, Arizona, Florida, Montana, Carolina, Pennsylvania, Washington, Wyoming, just all over.
Terrific.
It's fabulous.
Terrific.
And 30% of you are still working, and 70% of you are not. Are you still working?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, I'm retired.
You're retired, yeah. Yeah,
what would I do?
I know.
This is what I do. So I'm getting paid for my retirement, which is a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, me too.
Me
me
too.
We're both retired.
Yes,
but
we
we're
are.
having a heck of a good time. All right. So I asked people about the first job that they ever held. So Kelly, what was your first respectable job? You notice I qualified that.
I've never done anything illegal. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
So, well, for a job.
Okay.
I would say I was in college, so I didn't work too much. I did have a job at a place in San Francisco called Holy Cats. I haven't thought about this in a long time. It was WHOLLY Cats. It was right off Polk Street, and it was a store run by two women, and everything in it had a cat on it.
Ah, cat memorabilia.
Cat,
Everything.
anything you could think of. And remember that cat? I think he's still on mugs. It was a tabby. He was white with black stripes.
Yeah.
I forget the name, but he was around a lot.
Right.
So that was my first, job. Was at Holy Cats.
Clerk? You were a clerk?
I worked behind the counter. It was a small place. It wasn't like we had a lot of staff.
Right.
But yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Holy Cats.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my first job was also in a gift shop. Yeah, it sold mostly copper and junk jewelry in uptown Butte, Montana.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll tell you a little story about that,
Okay.
because it happened to be located about 3 blocks from Montana's most famous whorehouse.
Okay.
Okay, it was the Dumas Inn, which was in continual operation from the 1860s to the 1970s. And I worked there in the 1970s. I think it actually closed like 1980, something like that. Anyway, I worked there in the 1960s, rather, as a clerk. And many of the ladies of the night would come in there and buy junk jewelry.
Oh my goodness.
And so it was really interesting.
I bet that's interesting.
It was very interesting to talk to some of the ladies of the night.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, they have a bad rap, but the other people.
Of course.
They are
Of
just wonderful.
course.
In fact, several of them I've met over a period of time. They were delightful people.
Sure.
So that was my first job.
Very
Two
nice.
Clerks, 2 store clerks.
Clerks, 2 store clerks.
Yeah, who ended up on a ranch.
In Lola, Montana.
Yeah. So what did our survey respondents
What
say?
did our survey
well,
respondents say?
people worked all over the place.
I bet they did.
For first jobs.
Anyone from the Dumas Inn?
No. At least nobody admitted it. Remember, we
Okay.
said respectable jobs.
Yes.
Okay. People mowed lawns. They operated forklifts. They delivered pizzas for Domino's. We had a picker and packer for a candle company.
Oh, wow.
We had other clerks at the Woolworths counter. Do you remember the Woolworths?
That's a little past, a little before me, but my mom does, and I'm
Yeah.
sure. I had the make company counter.
Yeah. Oh, I ate lunch at the Woolworths. So
Okay.
yeah. Lots of babysitters.
Okay.
A couple answering machine people. One person checked cows. We had another lifeguard.
For what?
Checked cows, milk cows. And
Oh.
I suppose to see if they were ready. They didn't elaborate, but that's what they said.
Okay.
I wasn't sure how that
I think
went.
I know who that is, but let's go.
One person conducted research on rats at a UCLA Atomic Energy Commission. That's the first job. Isn't that
Wow,
interesting?
that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. And we had somebody who was a dishwasher in a nursing home and several waitresses. Waitressing is
Waitresses.
that's a common first job.
Very
for-
common. I've never been a waitress, and I don't have the personality to be a waitress.
Yeah, I never was either.
Yeah.
No.
A lot of people.
Yeah. So then, and the next thing I asked was, at what age did people start working?
Oh.
And this was really amazing. We had somebody start working at age 11.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think that was probably a farm or agriculture, perhaps.
Maybe.
And then we had one person who did not have a paid employment until they were 30.
Oh.
So how old were you?
The Holy Cats job, I think I was 19 or 20.
Yeah.
I was in San Francisco, and actually I was in an all-girl punk band at the time.
An all-girl punk band.
All-girl punk band, so that was my
That's
kind
another
of my
story we need to elaborate
boy,
on at some point.
maybe.
Maybe.
And yeah, so that was my day job, was working at Holy Cats.
Oh, well, I think I was around 15
Okay.
when I started after school uptown Butte.
Very nice.
Yeah. So the next thing I asked people was, what had they learned from their first paying job? And you know, the thing that was really interesting to me was it really came through how foundational those first jobs are. That's where people reported learning to do hard work, that the harder you worked and the faster that you worked, the more money you got. People learned skills such as electronics. They learned how to manage their time.
That's an important
A
one.
very important one. They learned how to deal with the public, the hungry public, the
Yes.
the unfriendly public,
Yes.
to do customer
Cat
service.
people.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And they also learned that paying jobs weren't substitute for family activities. Working is great, but you miss something when you work.
Yeah. And
There's
that's
a
very interesting.
trade-off.
There is. That's very interesting.
Yes. And they said it was always easy working with friends, that they loved working with friends. They learned to be polite, responsible, reliable, and patient.
Yes, all those.
All those things.
All those things.
Honest and fair. And a lot of babysitters who learned how to care for children and take care of other people.
Nice.
And many people learned from their first job that was not what they wanted to do, that they wanted to go to college so that they wouldn't have
That's
to do it.
a great thing about seriously about first jobs.
It is, yeah.
You know, we get through the year and a half I've been here, teenagers come in and like, oh boy,
Yeah.
kids, stay in school. It's
Yeah.
it's lovely to do this, but this is not what you want to do. You don't want to
Right.
muck for the rest of your
Your
life.
life. That's right. In fact, even just to get into our employment as a teenager, we now have an apprentice
We
program.
have another sign up this morning.
Oh, that's fabulous.
We have five kids.
Yeah, and part of what we're going to try to do with our apprentice program is instill these very things. Honesty, hard work, staying
Absolutely.
on time, committing to something, doing a good job.
Showing up on time.
Showing
That's
up on
hard
time.
that's a hard thing for a lot of people to.
Yeah, just for young people, and that's the kind of thing that serves us all well throughout our lives. So the next question I asked was, of all the jobs you have held, which one did you most enjoy and why? So, Kelly, you're on the spot.
You know what? I'm not even on the spot. It's this one, and I'm not even sucking up to Suzanne. This is.
She's sucking up to you.
No, I'm not. This is by far. I've never been more fulfilled and happy in my entire life.
That's
Honestly.
fabulous.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I would have
Except
to...
the Dumas Inn. I enjoyed that.
Well, I enjoyed hanging around the...
No.
I mean, by the
Honestly,
way,
this is a phenomenal. You know what I get, because, and this is what I tell people, I said, I get to ride horses and I get to make people happy.
yeah,
Does it get any better than that?
yeah,
It doesn't.
outdoors,
Outdoors.
using your body, using your mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
All those things.
All those things. Well, for the same reasons, this is certainly one of my best
Is it?
jobs. Absolutely. I loved being a biometrician in Alaska. I had a very long and exciting career and got to see things a lot of people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to see. But there's nothing that compares, I think, to enriching people's lives in a way that, particularly through animals and nature. I love that.
I've learned
and
that.
I love the people I work with, such as I'm
Such
sucking up
as.
now. See,
We get along pretty well.
we do. It's really great.
Yeah.
So let me answer for some of the and on this one, lots of good responses. I don't have time to read them all, so I randomly select some. So if I don't read yours on this and following questions, just know that I just randomly selected. And by the way, in our next edition of the magazine, I will have a complete report
Nice.
on the survey because this was just so much fun.
And I know that about half the respondents offered their phone number to
did.
call. So if you've changed your mind and you want to be a mic, on the broadcast, please. It's not too late to send your number in. It's really not.
Not too late, and we will follow up with some phone interviews with the people who did respond.
That'll be amazing.
It'll be fun, yeah. So here are some of the responses that I thought were, that I actually just pulled out of a hat.
Okay.
I mean, what I did is I put them in a Excel spreadsheet, and I assigned a random number to each one, and I just took the top ones.
She's
So
a
here-
static. Can you tell
Yeah,
that
I
she
know.
knows her stuff? She knows.
It's pathetic.
I can't tell you the number of spreadsheets we use
Oh, yeah.
around here.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about Excel.
Exactly.
She's got me organized. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So here was one, this is interesting, a scheduler and an administrative assistant to many managers at an aerospace country during the Sputnik era. Exciting times. They moved me to Newport Beach, California, an unusual thing in those days, especially for the Ford Motor Company. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's
Sputnik.
where I grew up too. So I think I know who this is,
Oh,
but
this
that's
is
interesting.
great.
Yeah.
All right. Working with ice cream. So many flavors.
Oh, there you
so
go.
many textures, presentation. People love doing what you do for them. An ice cream place.
Very nice.
Like a ranch, making people happy.
Making people happy.
Yeah. I took care of mentally handicapped adults in my home.
Oh, wow.
Called family care. Every day was a new day with them and my little boy. It wasn't all fun and games, but I was rewarded with lots of love in return.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, working with the ICU unit in several local hospitals, seeing so much trauma and pain every day. Hopefully I eased some of it over the years.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
beautiful.
People have done some really important work.
Really important work.
Yeah. Hard question. I equally liked being a county prosecutor and a teaching prosecution clinician students at a law school.
Wow.
Yeah. We have a lawyer out here. Maybe
Wow.
we should be
have a
more
lawyer.
careful.
We
huh?
should really. Yeah, we've all signed everything.
Yeah,
We're supposed-
okay. Owning my own quilting and needlework store for 14 years.
That's
we have a quilter out there. We need
fabulous.
to
We
track
need-
this person
we
down
do,
and
because
see some quilting.
Because you've been talking a long time about having a quilting workshop on
I do
camera.
think we need to do something
Send
like
your
that.
number in, please.
Yeah, absolutely. An antique dealer because I was my own boss and could be creative.
Yes.
Those are good things.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's a long one that I happened to pull out. I guess it would be the one I retired from, working as a representative for AT&T. But my job was handling executive escalation, so customer issues that went up the corporate ladder as well as issues received from the CPUC, I don't know what that is, and the FCC,
Yeah, we know
Federal
what that is.
Communications, probably, Better Business Bureau, etc. This is a high-paying, this is a high,
So if you
know,
complain loud enough,
high-stress
you
job.
go up to this
I am a
person.
problem solver. So anyone with a problem, I just naturally want to solve it and make them happy. I got great joy from doing that and turning really unhappy customers around and fixing their issues.
Oh, that's lovely.
But mostly it was the people I worked with. So many good people. Some are now very close friends. It was kind of like a big family with them. Good
That's
times.
lovely.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, this one I do happen to know who this is from, and I happen to know because she met us here. This is a really interesting story. This is my editor, and she
Oh.
answered the questionnaire, and the only reason I know it is her responses made sense to me, okay? The current one, freelancing, because I can do it in my jammies. It pays well. It's on my schedule, mostly. And I get to help so many writers the best they can, be the best they can.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
We like her.
Yeah, yeah, she's great, by the way.
She's great, by the way.
This one spoke to me from my background in natural resources. I don't have any idea who this is, but it sounds really interesting. Tagging fish. We were 10 women being bossed by a very young male college student. Half the time he didn't know what to do with us. We just had a good time.
Oh, that sounds great.
A summer job tagging fish. That sounds like Alaska to me.
It sounds like a TV series to me.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then the next question I asked was, of all the jobs you held, which one did you least enjoy and why? Come on, Kelly.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. I've got mine in mind.
Okay,
I'll
you
go
go
first,
first.
and you think.
Okay.
Okay. When I was a college student here at the University of Montana, I was putting myself through school, and I got a job with the food service, and I got to scrape the dishes that came in off the line from the conveyor belt. And this is in the days when students smoked and everything, so there would be, cigarettes and mashed
Oh,
potatoes.
jeez.
So my job, and the interesting thing about this was, at home, my mother gave me special dispensation to not scrape dishes. I hated it so much. I would do the washing, I would clear the place, but something about scraping dishes just didn't hold with me.
I
So
see.
naturally, what job did I get at the food service?
Oh, no.
Scraping thousands of dishes.
Thousands of dishes. Well, there was a picture, after the Giddy Up girls were here, there's a picture that you guys posted on Facebook of you holding a bottle of dish soap.
I know. Yeah, I'm not Ms. Domestic, as you might.
It's funny, I am. I'm very domestic.
Are you?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, well, my children can tell stories.
Yeah,
I'm
of that.
sure.
My least favorite job, I'll just tell you what pops into my head, is just in the entertainment industry. I loved a huge amount of it, but there are some people in the business who are the egos and the sense of entitlement, I think.
Yeah.
But 80% of the job is and 80% of the people are wonderful. But
Right.
that just struck me, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it interesting how the people make the job in so many ways?
Absolutely they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah. And I think that, of the people, I didn't get as many responses from people about what they liked least. In
Well,
fact, there
that's good.
were a lot of people who said I liked them all. They just enjoyed working.
Well, that's lovely.
Isn't that lovely? But of the ones that I did randomly select a few, of course.
Good.
I worked for a month at a wire tie, no idea what it is called, wire tie factory in Rochester, New York. I didn't know what I was doing or why I was doing it. It sounded to me like it was an assembly line. Sort
Yeah,
of
guy wire
thing.
kind of thing.
Right.
Interesting.
I moved on to a donut shop.
Nice.
Okay. Typical technical typist at Hughes Aircraft in Los Angeles. The material I typed for 8 hours a day were coded, so I had no idea what it said. That would be tough.
Yes.
That would be tough.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then here's one that says, I found enjoyment in all of my jobs, from burger and beer made at golf courses to factory piecework to camp counselor.
Wonderful.
Isn't that great? This is a good one, it has a little bit of humor in it. I worked as a receptionist at a diaper service. Do you remember diaper services? I actually used them for a few months when Jake was born. This is sort of
Before pre-Pampers.
Pre-Pampers.
My mom talks a
Yeah.
lot about having 3 kids in diapers. Yes.
Yes. I hated the drive to and from work, but mostly I hated those stinky diapers.
Oh, I bet.
To get to the restroom, you had to walk through the washing area with huge washers and dryers. The smell was gagging.
Oh my gosh.
Data entry at an office. I would rather be hands-on with people
Yeah.
needing comfort and help, not a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Working in a camera shop, answering the phone, filing. I know nothing about cameras, don't care about cameras, and don't want to learn about cameras. That was like me and scraping dishes. Yeah.
Our members have wonderful senses of humor.
They really do. Yeah, and they've certainly done a lot of different things in their lives. So I asked about unpaid jobs. What kinds of unpaid jobs have you done in your life? People do a lot of volunteer work.
I haven't done any.
Oh, I bet.
No, I haven't.
Really?
No, that's okay. I lied.
Yeah.
I had a couple months at elementary school in my neighborhood before I became a teacher.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be a teacher, and I volunteered, and they liked me, and I liked the job, so
Yeah.
I became a teacher. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I worked at the Montana Natural History Center. I was
Uh-huh.
on their board for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've worked in educational things. I volunteered at Lolo School for about 7 years.
Oh, did you?
Reading to
Oh, I
kids
didn't know
who
that.
were struggling reading.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
And doing math with kids who were struggling in math. I enjoyed that very much. It was great. Here's some of the other things that people did, which are, again, I just love getting these responses because they're so outside my own realm. A physical therapist family traveled the world giving seminars for many years. After I retired, I helped her by keeping everything going on this end. Okay? This is a long list, and I think a lot of people will identify with this. Daughter, sister, mother, wife, auntie, Girl Scout parent, jewelry designer, interior designer, party fundraiser organizer, decor, pet mom, pet sitter, and family photographer.
Wow.
Yeah. Anybody who's had a family is in unpaid,
Yes,
is in
absolutely.
unpaid employment.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
That's very true.
I did drive for Meals on Wheels for a short time. I guess I wasn't into volunteering. Oh, as a kid worked at this is funny. This is cute as can be. Oh, as a kid I worked at a neighbor's farm. But mostly I had a crush on Frankie. Worked so hard for him. He had a girlfriend, that rat.
Oh, no,
I was-
Frankie. Let's
I
find
was
him.
10 or 11.
Let's find him.
That was her introduction to unpaid labor.
That's hilarious.
That's great. Well, I'm the mother of 4. No explanation necessary. Indeed.
No,
Indeed,
no.
indeed.
Yes.
Worked for my mother who sold Sarah Coventry jewelry. Do you remember Sarah?
I do.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes. I was a young teen. Therapeutic riding volunteer at
Oh.
Camp Make a Dream.
Oh.
Horses and horse rider wilderness care, first aid training, helping with Big Sky Equestrian Park, fair and rodeo events. I don't know who this
Who
is.
is this?
I have no idea who
Get
this
over
is.
here.
Yeah, come help us.
Why aren't you
We're
here?
doing this kind of programs
Here,
here.
You
Absolutely.
can experience some more unpaid labor.
Yeah. Exactly. Being a good neighbor to others and getting the same in return.
Yes.
Yeah. That was fun. That
It
was
seems like the jobs that people didn't care for were the ones when, one, they didn't realize, the purpose of what they were doing,
yeah.
and there wasn't real human interaction.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
'Cause it seems like people could do anything as long as there was some kind of satisfaction.
Well, in fact, the next question dealt
Oh.
with satisfaction, and that was what unpaid job gave you the most satisfaction,
Okay.
and why?
This one.
The unpaid satisfaction.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the unpaid satisfaction one. Your secret's out, Suzanne.
My secret is I don't pay her.
Oh no, I've only had one. I'm too. God, I misunderstood the question. I've only done one thing unpaid, and I guess it got satisfaction because it turned into a 10-year career. So, the teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been satisfying.
It was quite satisfying.
Right.
The actual teaching
Right.
is wonderful.
Yeah.
What surrounds being a teacher is difficult,
Right.
but
The administrative parts. and
the
all that.
bureaucracy, yeah.
Right. I'd have to say that was my favorite unpaid stint was with the Lolo School reading and math with
Yeah,
the kids.
isn't it great?
It is. I mean, that's one-on-one, and I came in, did my thing, and left.
That's
Didn't have
perfect.
anything to do with the administration, and met a lot of kids, and I got to know a lot of my kids' friends. by
No,
doing
oh,
it.
very
That was
good.
nice too, and
Yes.
getting to know the school.
You can keep a track of your kids a little bit.
Yeah. So here's what some of the others said. Singing in a church choir because I love music and the camaraderie of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Being a mom, watching my girls grow up amazing, fun, faith-filled, happy, school-spirited, hard-working, common-sense, patriotic people. Loving, faithful, loyal friends, cheerleaders for lives.
That's
That's
beautiful.
That's really beautiful. Helping at horse events, seeing young riders learn and grow, seeing the changes, the good changes toward communications with the horse, not domination and fear. Yeah. Some people said anything I did for my community gave me great pride.
Very nice.
Okay. Marina caretaker. After
Oh.
Sawmill closed down, I retired and needed something to occupy my mind. Took care of a marina. Isn't that interesting? Unpaid.
That's fantastic. What a cool thing to do.
Yes, what a cool thing
By the
to
water?
do. Yeah, wonderful. So, the next question I asked was, what work accomplishment gives you the most pride?
Specifically? Like what happens
Well,
here?
whatever,
Or just-
you know, most is a kind of a funny word. You know, what gave you pride in this is paid work now,
Okay.
or any work. What
You know
work
what it is?
accomplishment? What work accomplishment?
You know what? And it happens a lot during the day, hopefully. It's when a horse is a little worried, a little concerned, a little discombobulated, and I just go in and say it, take a deep breath and go, it's going to be great. We're going to have a great day. And you just feel them.
Yeah,
That's my favorite time.
yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Happens a lot.
it does.
Well, more as I learn, it happens, but that's my favorite thing.
Yeah. And I have to echo what somebody said, unpaid satisfaction. My children clearly are the source of my greatest pride for both paid and unpaid work. You know, it's a loving, wonderful thing to do. And a lot of people responded in that way, that their children, but in terms of their paid work, there's some really interesting responses here too. Scientific biomedical research, advancing understanding and biology of infectious diseases for the National Institutes of Health.
Oh my gosh.
It's a very important job.
Wow.
Don't you think?
Yes.
Yes, being of service to people. I love helping people solve problems. Teaching people to do quilting and needling work. We need her out here.
Yes,
I don't know who
please.
she
I don't know
is.
who you are, but
Yeah. Again,
we
this is
can't
all-
fly you out, but if you should find yourself in Lolo.
Yeah. First, CRNFA. I think that has something to do with certified resident nurse in the
Okay.
state of Montana. Had to convince the state nursing board it was a job as RN an RN should be doing. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Yes.
We
Congratulations.
have some incredible members.
They really do. Raising my 3 children to be independent and good citizens.
Excellent.
Once, on the sheer number of years I worked for AT&T before retiring was 32 years. But I was in on the ground floor developing our executive appeals team, created many aids and examples of forms that needed to be filled out, establishing policies and practices. I was also the group's letter writer, so responsible for making personal written contact with customers when unable to reach them by phone. We did a lot of IT work for various departments in our group of various offices. So it sounded like a central career
Yes,
in AT&T.
absolutely.
Yeah, terrific.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of interesting responses. So here's one, Kelly. Tell us something that funny that happened to you on the job.
Shoot. My life is just funny all the time. Something that sticks out as funny?
Something that was funny. Yeah. Gonna pass.
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that was particularly funny because, seriously, I find everything funny that happens no, I have no answer. I have no answer for you. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of stumped on this one too. I have a lot of incidents in Alaska, and some of which were were really horrific and dangerous, but in the end were kind of funny.
See, I have 2 things that come to mind, and they're not funny at all. But looking back, I guess I'm amused by them. Isn't that bizarre?
Oh, go ahead and
Oh,
share
well,
them.
when I worked at Holy Cats, I was robbed.
Oh, yeah.
And then as a teacher, I was threatened by, my life was threatened by a parent who was a gang member.
Oh my.
And I don't know, I mean, they were terrible at the time, but looking back, when you said funny, that those two things popped into my
Right,
mind. So
yeah.
clearly, you met my mother. So clearly, I have the funny and tragic kind of go together. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, now see, you're talking that way has prompted me to think of an incident, and that is, I was on an island off of Kodiak, and I get this radio message that I'm supposed to go to a budget meeting in Juneau, and let me tell you, the weather is horrible. And I'm on the radio, and I said, well, you can't even get a helicopter out here today because the fog is down on the ground.
Wow.
And they said, well, you need to go to Juneau. And so 2 hours later, I hear this, fuff, 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 and a helicopter makes it and lands. And I get in with all of my sea lion gear, which I smell like a sea lion.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I smell like a sea lion that thing. So several stops later, the helicopter had to put down, and I got to Kodiak, and I got on a plane, and in Kodiak at the airport, I called Sterling, and I said, meet me at the airport with some decent clothing. I have to go to Juneau. So he meets me in the Anchorage airport. I change my clothes. He brings me my suit, my briefcase. I get on an airplane. Remember, the weather's bad. It wasn't just bad in Kodiak. It was bad all over. Get on a plane headed for Juneau. They can't land in Juneau. They can't land in Seattle. They land in Portland. So now I've gone from an island, Marmot Island, to Portland. I spend the night. The meeting's the next day. I try to fly back to Juneau. Can't fly into Juneau the next day. Can't fly into Anchorage the next day. I end up in Fairbanks.
Oh, jeez.
So I flew 2 days and went nowhere. That's my funny story.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So here are some of the...
Okay, oh, boy.
Yeah, some of these are really cute, too. Again, I've just randomly selected. Mm-hmm. If yours isn't chosen, it will show up on the magazine article. Absolutely.
Excellent.
When I worked at the medical facility, it was a strict clean room area. You wore a gown, cap, booties, and you wore no makeup, jewelry, wedding rings, and always pants under your gown. I ran into a coworker at a store, and we started talking, and I said, well, it's good to see you in clothes. You should have seen the looks from the people who were next to us and heard us talking.
I bet.
That's great. Here's another hospital one. Working nights at the Times and sleep deprived leads to some gallows humor, especially in hospital. It relieves stress. I have many stories, but I will keep them secret for now. Okay. When I was in college, I worked at a grocery store. I was 19. It was a good job with good people. The manager threw something at me. It was soft, but he knew I would come after him. He was standing just outside of the door with his arms spread wide and puckered up. I yelled, "Yip," and headed back through the door.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I hope that was all in jest on his part.
I hope so.
Yeah. One day I was walking down the concrete deep sea dock. Heard something behind me. Saw nothing, so kept on walking. Happened 2 or 3 times in a few minutes. Never saw anything, so I hid in some lumber piles on the edge of the dock. Couple minutes later, I saw a crow. It was dropping a mussel on the deck to break it open so it could have a meal. Smart birds.
Very smart
Isn't that
birds.
a fun story?
It's a great story.
These are great little stories.
They're good writers, too. Everyone's
Yeah,
a
they
very good
are.
writer.
This is great. My nursing job. Back in the day, we never wore gloves. This is kind of funny, too. I had just gotten engaged. Never took my ring off. I was taking a patient off the bedpan.
Oh, God.
When I pulled my hand out and had a big chunk of you-know-what on my ring. Not funny, but in a way, it's very memorable.
It's memorable. I wish I could unsee that, but I don't think I can. Thank you, whoever you are.
Yeah, that's right. I used to work at an antique mall every Monday with my friend Jody. We were so funny together that people started calling us the Joe and Lo Show, and regulars would come in on Monday just to see us banter back and forth.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, we still call each other Joe and Lo.
Oh, that's very nice.
Isn't that cute? I don't know I don't know how the funny incidents. Oh, I don't know how funny the incident was, but the response was funny. I worked in a 5-story office building, and my desk was right up against a big window, as were others in the group. One day, someone took a shot at us with a rifle, which was fortunately stopped by the thick windows, but of course scared the heck out of us with the noise and the fact that we were some sort of target. The funny part was that one of my coworkers was talking to a customer on the phone, hit the floor when the bullet hit, and just kept on doing her job.
Oh, jeez.
I found that funny, the fact that nothing would stop her from doing her
Oh,
job,
gosh.
even from under her desk.
Oh, my gosh.
These are great stories.
They're great stories.
Yeah. And then this is the one I know, this is all randomly pulled out, but this one's from my editor. When just launching this career, had to be in Lolo for an emergency weekend. Only place to stay was Dunrovin. Did not know what Dunrovin was, but booked it anyway. Met Susan in the driveway, introduced ourselves. She's a writer needing an editor. I was an editor needing a writer. Funny, a match made in heaven.
Perfect.
That's cute.
Yeah.
There are so many, but I think the fish tagging tops them all. We named ourselves Clippers and Hookers. 5 cut off a fin, and 5 put a wire up the nose. I was a hooker.
I think I've narrowed this down because I believe that this person has visited here. I'm pretty sure.
The hooker and the fish, the hooker?
Yeah.
Well, when she comes back, we need to start
Yeah, I
counting
know.
them out. There's a nickname in here somewhere,
I
don't
know.
you think? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, have you ever been injured on the job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, here's some. See, this also was the funny story.
Okay.
And I was a teacher, an elementary school teacher in Los Angeles, California. We had an assembly one day, and a magician came to perform in the
fun.
auditorium for the kids. And I don't know why he picked me out of the audience immediately. And believe it or not, I used to be painfully shy. Pretty much until I got this job, I was painfully shy. And he wanted me to be in his levitation act.
Ooh,
Right?
coming up off the ground here.
Mm-hmm. So he pulled another teacher up to be his assistant, and I won't say her name, but she wouldn't have been my choice to be an assistant. So there were 2 chairs, and they laid me out, and the idea was that I guess they would move the chairs and I would levitate. Well, this teacher didn't follow directions properly, so when they pulled the chairs out, I fell to the ground. And I jumped up. I'm fine. And the audience, the kids were just horrified. And I'm like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Well, it turned out I had a concussion. I felt fine, but people said, Kelly, go to the hospital. I'm like, nah, I'm good. They're like, Kelly, you're acting weird. So I went to the hospital. I had a concussion. That's my injury on the job story.
Yeah, that's a very interesting story. That's an unusual job injury.
Come on.
I mean, concussion's not itself, but the way you got it.
I know.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm sure I've been injured on the job, but I can't quite think of how.
On the ship at all?
Well, everybody gets cuts and bruises, and
Yeah.
I didn't come home with anything. I've had a lot of a very
know.
long medical history.
I
but,
know.
but not much of it is.
Well, it's all
related
happened
to
on the job.
Well, I
Pretty
mean, at the
much.
ranch,
Yeah.
I've been,
Everything.
Oh yeah, everything's happened here on the ranch. My shoulder belongs to the ranch
Yeah.
from saddles and hay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't remember an incident of a specific accident.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Or you blocked it out, one or the other.
One or the other. That's right.
Right.
And I'm good at that. Here are some ones that I pulled again out of the hat or off the Excel spreadsheet.
Of course. Oh, jeez. The spreadsheets.
Yeah. Yes, a metal file cabinet drawer tipped over on my foot and cut between 2 toes, and the company director was cavorting around town and couldn't be found.
Oh.
This was in the day before smartphones.
I guess.
In the 60s.
Gosh, we all survived without them, didn't we?
I know. Okay. Fell off an 8-foot ladder in winter while counting lumber piles for shipment.
Oh, jeez.
Had to record a number off a tag that was put on each load for inventory purposes once a month. Severely sprained both ankles.
Ouch.
That sounds...
At the same time, that's not good.
Yeah, that sounds bad. Yes, broken metatarsal when a student dancer jumped on my foot. I would have liked to have seen that.
Me too.
Yeah. Sharp piece of equipment disconnected suddenly and landed on my sterile gloved hand. Had to hold it and leave the field to not contaminate the whole surgical field.
Oh, wow.
Took a puncture for the whole team. It healed fine. That's great.
That's great.
I stapled my finger to a piece of paper.
Ouch.
Ouch is right.
Ouch.
Boy, that could be easy to do, though.
Yes.
I think, yeah. This is cute. Again, I don't know. I have.
It's not your editor again.
It is. I swear to God, I got these randomly, but she just keeps popping up.
She knows what words to put in it
That's
somehow.
that's the random aspect of all this. Some you get lots from
Yeah,
some and
that's-
nothing
well,
from
see,
somebody
sure,
else. But this is cute. I have to admit it. Editing a book that was a sit on your edge of your seat till the last page exciting. Author refused to tell me the good guys win in the end. I bit my nails to the quick as I edited as quickly as I could just to get to the end of
Oh, wow.
it. Graciously, he paid me a bonus to get a manicure when the job was done.
Seriously? Oh, that's hilarious.
Isn't that funny? That's
oh, my
great.
gosh.
All right. Well, the last two questions were if they would be willing to sit for a interview.
Oh, and again, you can change your mind and give us your number.
Here's your number. I will be tracking you down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked people for Labor Day memories. And do you have any specific Labor Day memories?
None.
Yeah.
Except going to the bank and having it be closed. That's my Labor Day memory.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
No, I never really think about Labor Day. It could be because I just have never really been involved in work, or never been in a field of work where, unions and when it really mattered.
Right.
I've never been in a position where I wasn't taken care of
Right.
by things like that.
Well, and that you mentioned unions, Labor Day was started. It came out of the union movement.
Yes.
It started in New York and spread across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And it was intended to celebrate the contributions of workers to the prosperity and security and health of our country. And I think it's a really good thing to stop and think about all that people contribute. And I'm from a big union town. Butte, Montana, in fact, was called the Gibraltar of Unions. The miners' union, number 1 is in Butte, Montana.
Really?
Seriously.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. So Labor Day was a very big day in Butte, and we celebrated with parades, and there was a series of picnics. In Butte, and one of them had all kinds of competitions where laborers would show their skills. And mining operations, of course, requires carpenters and electricians and people who are really talented with their hands, mechanics of all sorts. So those were really fun. Plus, everybody had to know first aid who went down in the mines. So they would have contests to see who could do things the fastest. And so picnics. And that's what a lot of people remembered were picnics, whether they were community picnics or family picnics. It seemed that there were two themes that came through here. One was the picnics, kind of the end of summer picnic, the saying goodbye to summer. Yeah,
of course.
And then the first day of school.
Yes.
It's a marker for the first day of school. And
it is, isn't
some
it?
people came from homes where they had teachers in the family, and so there was a lot of work, included in that aspect of it. So the theme here really was, much like yours, not a lot of people had a personal meaning of Labor Day, but the family picnics, community picnics and gathering, and then kind of the last day of summer before school. That was the theme
that's interesting.
Came out. Yeah. Well, this was just
That was amazing. You guys
fun?
are amazing.
Yeah, this was so much fun that, you have enabled me, and I love surveys.
Oh, she loves surveys. It's how her brain works. Yeah, you're literally a statistician.
Yeah.
Which
and
amazes me.
This will be the first of many.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Halloween.
I do. Very good. Yeah. Look for a survey.
Look for a survey.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed doing it with us. Thank you very much
and just to throw it out there is photographs.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have people send photographs, particularly Halloween.
Yeah, particularly Halloween, and I'm going to do my best to, do a little something for Halloween.
We had to do our free ride thing again. Every year except last year. Any child who shows up in a costume gets a free ride.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And everybody has to dress up, you included.
Oh, well, I have a dream costume.
Do you?
For I guess now I have 2 horses. I guess. Well, I have a dream costume for Doc and me.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't know if I can pull it off.
Everybody knows I come as a witch with the divas.
Okay.
Yeah, they have costumes.
I've heard. I've
Yeah,
heard.
Yeah.
I've heard. Anyway, this was great. Yes, please, more surveys.
More surveys.
More surveys.
More
All right.
fun like this. It's really fun to get to know all of you and to hear your stories. And I do want to do more of this in a variety of ways. And I appreciate your participation.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, in 15 minutes, everybody,
Yes.
we're going to do boots on the ground. It'll probably be a 15-minute one, maybe 5 minutes, but yeah. So 15 minutes, I will be back.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Really enjoyed it.